Welcome in, welcome in. If you guys could put comments in, that would be wonderful. Hi, Charles. How are you? How are you doing, Charles? I am doing good. Trying to get my kids to stop running around. It's Sunday night. Hi, Samantha. Happy March. Oh, yes. It's March 1st. I forgot that. Hi, Lynn. How are you doing? Welcome in. Welcome in. We'll wait for some more people to get on. You guys having a good day? Samantha and Lynn? You guys having a good Sunday? Hi, Pam. Hi, Susie. How are you? You're great? That's good. I bet you're enjoying your quiet time, Samantha. I just called my ex-husband. I'm like, hey, I'm going on live. The kids might need to call you. They're running around. They're supposed to be settled. They just ate dinner. Hi, Michelle. That's what I love about a good co-parenting dynamic is I can call my ex-husband at any point and he'll assist me if need be. You're cleaning the house? Nice. I did that yesterday. Got some house cleaning and furniture rearranging. I love a clean house. With kids and dogs, it's hard to maintain, but I do it every day. I don't like it when the house gets dirty all the time. Seems like with the dogs, they just track so much in. It's crazy. Mixed emotions, Susie? Oh. Well, hopefully more positive emotions. I know I woke up today feeling like light and refreshed. It was a very peaceful morning. It was nice. I was thinking about with Mercury retrograde and everything that's kind of going on and how there's so much, like usually there's communication with people from the past that come back. And I was thinking about it and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do an all signs today. I'm going to talk about karma because I think the word karma kind of gets thrown away, or not thrown away, but thrown around a lot in conversations. And I know it's really common, obviously, in the spiritual community, but I think sometimes people don't know a lot about it. So we're going to talk about it tonight. Hi, Keisha. Clean and organized life. Only my love life is the unorganized thing. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Jen. It's been days. How are you? I am doing good. I'm tired. I'm ready to wind down for the night, but I figured I would come on in the evening because I wasn't able to come on earlier. So, oh, your twin flame blocked you out of the blue? Oh. Maybe, I don't know about the specific, Susie, but maybe it's redirection for something else. I am going to talk about karma versus destiny. And if we have time, we'll do a collective reading, but I'm not, just so you guys know, I'm not doing ask a question, get an answer tonight. So I'm on a pretty limited time this evening. So I figured this would be with Mercury retrograde and with communication, usually from people from the past. I think it would be really good to kind of talk about karma a little bit versus destiny, just as kind of like a public service announcement. I think it's really good for people to understand the difference, because I think the word karma gets thrown away. I keep saying thrown away. I think it's because when people hear karma, they think they should just dispose of the relationship or the connection or the person as if they're disposable. And I don't necessarily think that that's what it should be all the time. So I thought we could talk about karma versus destiny, because we all get karma, whether it's we have to go through the lesson ourselves or we go into someone's life as teaching them a lesson. Hi, Laura. So I thought that would be something good that we could talk about. So let's go ahead and get started. And then if others get on, they get on. Otherwise, they can catch the replay. Okay, so first of all, just quick announcement before we start. I'm not doing ask a question, get an answer. So I'm not going to do that. But if you want something for your specific situation, feel free to check out my website, timelessdivinetarot.com, and you can purchase a personal reading through there. But let's talk about karma versus like your forever destiny. So there's actually, like, I have my notes here. So there's 3 different types of way karma comes into play. So for those of you that don't know, hi Carmina, hi Teresa, hi Quinn. So you have past life karma, which is kind of like your report card from the last lifetime, and it comes into the next lifetime. So there's lessons that are to be mastered in this lifetime that maybe you didn't complete or you didn't fulfill or you refused in the last lifetime. But then there's also childhood experiences that you go through. Hi, Jane. Hi, Quinn. And with those childhood lessons, those are karmic lessons to be mastered. And then the last one is by our own choices, our own decisions on what we choose to do, that we can create our own karmic wheel. We can kind of make ourselves stuck with the situation we're in if we choose to be. So how do you know something is karmic versus destiny? Well, some people on a soul level come into your life because there's a contract, maybe there is like an assignment, or maybe you're supposed to fulfill some type of higher purpose with that person, that they're a part of your destiny. So with the actual karmic, if you've ever been in a karmic relationship, which I'm sure a lot of you have, because I work with clients all the time that they know, because it's so triggering. It usually starts really quick and sometimes it ends abruptly. There's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of frustration in the situation. There's a lot of, it could feel almost like an intense pull at times, but then there's a push away. It's like that hot, cold energy. Like the person will pull you close and then they push you away, or you pull somebody close and then you push them away. So there's this, like, it's almost like this love, desire, addictive energy where you get in this constant up and down, and you think, well, but they're my soulmate, I'm supposed to be with them. But it's a triggering connection. So it creates a lot of insecurities, it creates a lot of confusion. And a lot of times when it's that heightened, it's meant to actually activate something within you. If you're reacting intensely over repeated times, that means there's something within yourself that needs to be looked at. And that's not a negative thing. I mean, we all have karmic lessons. That's the whole reason we're here. But it's about understanding, okay, what is this pattern? Are we dating the same types of people over and over and over again, regurgitating the same experiences? And looking at that bigger picture and saying, okay, am I in a trauma bond with somebody because they went through the same experience as I did as a child? Am I in a relationship with somebody that is triggering me because I'm codependent? Or am I in a relationship with somebody who makes me feel insecure because they're insecure? You have to kind of ask yourself that. And that's what part of karmic lessons are, is teaching different things that your soul is meant to learn. So it's kind of like karma is like each chapter on your journey, you have to go through every chapter, which means you have to go through the lessons before you can finish the lessons to get to your destiny. So like your forever person would be somebody that you could come into alignment with, and you're feeling grounded, you're feeling easy, you're feeling supported by the person, they're feeling supported by you. You kind of come into an alignment where you want the same thing. There's emotional consistency, not inconsistent. There is destiny doesn't destroy you, karma can destroy you. Have you ever been in a relationship where you're just like, I just want to be chosen. I just want to feel happy. I just want to be seen by this person, and they run hot, cold, hot, cold. That's a karmic connection. And that means there's a triggering that's been activated within you. So you have to figure out what that trigger is. So, and now sometimes you hear people say, well, they're a karmic, just get rid of them. Just break up with them and find someone else. But that's not really what you're supposed to do. You're actually supposed to figure out what the trigger is and what do you need to learn from it. Because if you're the one being triggered, then you're the one who has to do the work. You're the one who has to address what that is. Is it from your past life? Is it from your childhood? Is it from an experience as an adult that you keep experiencing? Like, you know, so let's say, for example, you have somebody that there were red flags in the beginning of the relationship, but you kind of turned the other way and thought, oh, you know, I'll just give them a chance. But then you keep investing, but you keep seeing red flags over and over and over again. That is a lesson within yourself of, okay, am I a people pleaser? Am I allowing my boundaries to be crossed? Am I attracting somebody that's unhealthy for my mental state just to be with somebody? So that's some of the things that I think when it comes to karma that you have to be aware of. So I want to talk about just some of the lessons and some of like the signs that you know that it's a karmic lesson that you're going through, because we all go through them. Okay. So if it's a self-love or worth lesson, some of the signs you're going to see is you feel very codependent, or they do. You could find that you're just not feeling valued. You're not feeling seen in that relationship. Now, karma does not have to be romantic. It could be friends. It could be family. You could find that you're constantly pleasing other people, but they're not trying to please you. Or you fear that you're going to be rejected. So that is a sign that you have to start working on your self-love and your self-worth. So the next one would be about boundaries. What are your boundaries that you need to feel safe within a relationship? So it could be that you attract people that are controlling, that are possessive, maybe people that avoid accountability. It could be people that just completely keep repeating the same inconsistent patterns, and you allow them to push over those boundaries. So then you're in that constant loop of staying in that cycle. So you have to learn what boundaries are you willing to put in force, and you have to stay true to yourself and say, I'm not going to allow my boundaries to be crossed. The next one would be forgiveness and patience. So are you somebody that is very resentful? Like you're holding on resentment from something that happened to you as a child, and as an adult, you're making everybody in your path pay for it? That would be something you have to do a little bit of work on that. Or is it that you're holding a grudge over something that happened in a relationship 10 years ago, or something someone said to you? That is a triggering of a karmic situation that you have to practice what forgiveness is. And you know, the best piece of advice I always give clients when it comes to forgiveness is try to put yourself in that person's shoes that you need to forgive, and try to visualize the experience of what they went through as to why they're that way. So if you're dealing with somebody who is just cruel, think back, like what happened to them when they were little, or what happened to them in their relationships, that it almost makes you feel sorry for them. But that's where compassion comes in, and then that's where forgiveness happens. So, you know, acting, also the next one is patience and timing is a karmic lesson. Like me, I don't have a lot of patience. I'm still trying to master that lesson. But you can get frustrated. That could be triggering. You get frustrated very easily. You could feel like you rush to make decisions. You could find that things when they don't work in your favor and you're delayed, that you get really irritated by it. That's a karmic lesson that, some people say, oh, well, it's the ego. Well, it comes across as the ego, but really it's the triggering for a reason. It's practicing what you need to learn, which is patience and timing, that everything happens when it's supposed to. Another karmic lesson is letting go. Do you cling on to a relationship way, way, way past the expiration date? Do you just keep trying to revive something that you should just let go, but you don't want to let go? You just want to keep holding on and fighting for it? It could even be a job. You could stay at a job way past the time you should. And part of your karmic lesson is learning when to stay and when to go. And maybe even habits, bad habits that are not healthy for you. They're not serving your highest good. They're not making you be the best version of yourself. Maybe they're impacting your health or they're impacting other people around you. Those are things that practicing the art of letting go is a karmic lesson. Another one is power and control. So sometimes if you find that you're with a partner that's over controlling or very overbearing, that is the lesson they're supposed to be learning. Or maybe you're that way. Maybe you're over controlling or you're overbearing. And it could be that maybe you struggle with authority. You don't like to be told what to do. That is power and control. That's part of one of the lessons. The next one is abundance. Some people have a scarcity mindset, from experiences from childhood. Maybe they didn't grow up with everything that they wanted. Maybe there wasn't a lot of resources as a kid. And that could block abundance flow. That could be a lesson to not feel scared of not having enough. And then the last one is emotional balance. So do you find that you end up being a little bit too dependent on other people and how they make you feel than how you feel about yourself? Because if so, and you feel triggered by them not making you feel a certain way, that is an emotional balance karmic lesson. It could be that, maybe you overreact, you get overzealous if you don't hear what you want to hear, you don't feel the way you think someone should make you feel. And it can cause like an emotional upheaval going up and down with your emotions. And so I think part of discovering if it's a karmic lesson, the first part is, do you find one thing that's constantly being challenged in your life? Are you going through the same thing over and over and over again? In jobs, in relationships, in habits, you're finding things that are just constantly on repeat. And then asking yourself, why am I going through this? What is the emotion that it's activating within me? Why do I feel this way? What is it triggering within me as an emotion? And then once you identify that, then you can identify what the lesson is. And then that's when you say, okay, what am I going to do to release this? How am I going to let this go? How am I going to overcome this? Because if you don't overcome it, you're just going to keep repeating it. And then you're going to be really, really frustrated because it's not something that is working in your favor. So I think that part of learning the lessons is being able to understand if you need to learn the lesson or is it the person that is next to you, in front of you, or behind you? Because we encounter people all the time and not every person you encounter is a lesson. Sometimes they're just a neutral bypassing person that you came into a connection with. Maybe you seen them at a job or you talked to them at a job and then they left. Or it's somebody that you talked to for a little bit. Maybe you're casually dating them and then they're gone. Not every person is a hard, fast karmic versus destiny. Okay, so there is some people that are just they're considered neutral and they're not really, I don't want to say they're not relevant because everybody's relevant, but there's not any significant undertaking that you need to do because of those people. Okay, so now when it is your destiny, you will know because you won't feel like there's a resistance. You'll feel like you're going with the flow and it all just makes sense. Like it almost just feels natural and it just feels meant to be. So how do you know when a karmic lesson is complete? Well, if it's you who is actually doing the work, you'll just feel the pattern isn't repeating. So if you're dating people that are running hot and cold consistently, then it could be that you're learning the lesson of what your boundaries need to be. and you're learning what your self-worth is. And when you start mastering that, you start paying attention to those red flags early on, then you don't entertain people that cross the boundaries that you see as a red flag, or that are running hot and cold, that inconsistent. And that's when you start mastering the lessons, and things just start to naturally align with you. And then when it starts to align, then you feel, okay, I feel like I'm coming into alignment with where I need to go. That's when you start getting into your destiny. That's when you find the person. You ever notice when people say they found the one, they're not really looking, but they'll say, oh, life was just really going, and then I just met this person and it was my forever person. That's usually how it works, is once you've mastered your lessons, and then you kind of like graduate to the level of that dream job or that dream career or your forever person. So part of it is knowing, okay, how am I going to act differently if I see something is repeating constantly in my life? What am I going to do differently? Am I going to continue to keep doing it and not make any changes and hope that it's going to change? Because isn't that kind of the definition of insanity, is like, if you keep repeating the same thing over and over again, it's not going to change. Okay, so we have to realize, okay, what is the pattern and what are we going to do differently? We have to act differently. We have to change our concept, our mindset around what that pattern is. Because remember, we can't control what the people are around us. We can only control ourselves. So part of knowing that your lesson is also complete is there's almost like this, I call it a body bag, but it's like you're unzipping the body bag and you're stepping out of the experience. Like you don't feel like you're hostage to it anymore. It doesn't feel triggering to you anymore. You don't have like an emotional reaction to it anymore. And you feel almost like a sense of like lightness or peace in your energy. Like it just feels like 1,000 bricks, or that dark and black cloud that was over you, is gone. And it's just almost like a sense of lightness that you feel, because you're no longer involved with that constant triggering, because you've mastered the lesson, or you've chose to end the situation with the person and you graduate the lesson all on your own. Because that's the other thing, is sometimes you're in a relationship with somebody and you have to decide, do you stay or do you go? Of course, you have personal preference, but if you're staying in a karmic relationship and you're both not doing the work, or it's not in alignment, it's not going to work. So part of that is that insight that you gain through the experience, is understanding, okay, is this my karmic lesson? Is it theirs? Or is it both of ours? Because you can continue on in a karmic triggering relationship. You can both do the work and still stay together. It doesn't have to be a, well, they're a karmic, I'm going to have to break up with them. It doesn't always have to be that, or I'm going to divorce them, or whoever it is, I'm not going to be close to that family member. No, you can still have a relationship if you both are willing to put in the work. And that's really what it comes down to. So realizing that, also sometimes delaying the inevitable of saying, you know what, I think that this person's not going to change and I need to put an end to this relationship with this family member or this friend. That also is a karmic lesson of procrastination. That sometimes you graduate when you decide, you know what, there's nothing more I can do. I have to walk away. And then you get that, you unzip that body bag of that blackened cloud, and you walk out of it. So that is when you start seeing opportunities shift and change. That's when you start seeing, oh, you know what, things are kind of working in my favor. Life is really good, because it feels like you're going towards what is meant for you. You're not forcing yourself to stay in something and feel stuck, because that's where, people who are tarot readers or psychics or anybody in the spiritual community, they always talk about free will. And that's what that means, is you are free to stay in a cycle, or you're free to leave it and learn. You don't always have to have the person to learn. You can learn it on your own. So, and you'll start seeing more, your intuitive hits get stronger, because you're finally listening to your soul, which is calling you to go through the journey and where you need to be. So, that's another thing I was going to say, is some people stay in relationships because they are family, or because they've been at that job for years, but that boss is a karmic that is triggering the heck out of you. And it's like, the boss isn't going to change, but maybe you're the one who has to do the changing, because that's all you have control over. And you have to say, okay, you know what? Am I really like procrastinating on having a better life just because I've been at this job for years? Maybe it's the time to leave it and go experience something else. So I think that's really important that you understand the difference between that karmic and that destiny. So how can you actually heal from the karma is acknowledging it. You could do that shadow work, facing the fears and insecurities that it's triggering within you, you know, understanding what the lessons are. Doing breath work is huge, huge, huge. Breath work and journaling, and then practicing forgiveness within yourself and practicing forgiveness within others is going to also be important. And then for the destiny, it's mainly just about aligning your actions with the person you choose to be with, whether it's a partner, whether that is a career opportunity. You just naturally feel a calling that it's meant to be, and then you experience what makes you happy. And there's like no resistance with it. So, all right. So we're going to do a quick collective reading for karmic or destiny. We're going to see for the collectives that are on this call, on this video, we're going to see what the energy is. And if you guys are interested in doing your own personalized in-depth reading, I do have one listed on my website. It is discounted. There's only 13 spots available. So it's first come, first serve. When they're gone, they're gone. But let's go ahead and see what is the purpose of the person in your life collective, okay? Keep in mind, only take what resonates on a collective reading. And let's see. What is the purpose why this person is in your life? The person that you're thinking about, collective. Okay. Well, it does look like this person is somebody who is teaching you how to recover sense of loss or abandonment. So if you are finding that you're trying to understand this person, you're trying to understand what this person is here for, this person is actually teaching you how to restore hope in your life, how to have faith in the future, how to realize that not everybody around you is a bad guy or a bad girl. Now, what is the connection activating within you? Well, it does look like this connection is activating a sense of inspiration, restoring faith in humanity, letting you know that there are good people, that people do recognize your value, people do recognize your worth. And so this connection right now is a part of your alignment of you learning that, of understanding, you know what, this person does see you, and this person hopes you see them. Now, what is their true emotional capacity at this time? This is somebody who they're very generous. The person that you're thinking of, the person that is in this energy, they're very innocent, they're very pure, and they're very much at a place of peace right now. Does not feel very like it's very heavy at all. It feels very light. This could be a younger person who is maybe trying to create their future still. Maybe they don't really know where they're going yet, but they're trying to figure it out. It's kind of like training wheels is what it feels like. What is their capacity here for you and them long term? If you allow this person time and you're allowing this person to balance their emotions to mature, I see that this person could be a very emotionally mature person. So if you're looking for long term, this individual does have strength to bring in a long-term balanced relationship. They're very logical, and they know, like right now, they're maybe not at the maturity level they need to be, but if you give them a little bit more time, I do see that they will be very successful for that. Now, what is the pattern between the two of you? Well, it looks like there's a little bit of overindulgence, and then there's a pullback. So there's a little bit of push-pull here. And it could be because this person doesn't really know how fast they can move to get to your level. So if you're somebody who's a little bit more emotionally mature, they're not sure how quick they can get there. They want to get there, but they don't know how quick they can get there. Now, is this karmic energy? No. I would say it is a neutral person. It's kind of a bypasser. It's not a full-blown karmic energy. I think you're going to accept that this person is very kind. They're very mature, but I don't think it's your forever person. So if you're thinking, am I going to stay with this person forever? No, I don't see that. All right. Is this going to align into a relationship? Well, I do see this person will make the decision to see if you're interested in a relationship. They could be a fire sign or a water sign. But here's the thing is you're going to gain the insight that they're not emotionally mature. So if you want to give them time, I think that it would be a good judgment call because they're going to transform. They just may not transform in the timeline that you actually expect. Long-term alignment, I think you're going to see the truth that this person is a great idea. Clearly, they're articulate with their words, and they're going to give you a sense of clarity of where they're going when it comes to you. They're not going to leave you out in the cold. They're going to be very generous. So I think this is somebody who you're going to recognize really easily that they're restoring faith in you when it comes to love and life, when it comes to trusting other people. Even though they may not be where you think they should be mature-wise, they're going to get there if you give them a little bit of time. It looks like sometime between June and December, this person is going to have a major like glow up with their emotions where they're going to grow and evolve rapidly. So if you stick around for that long, I mean, you have free will, but I do see that this person does see your value and your worth. So if you do decide to stay, I do see this person will take action. And I do see the 10 of Pentacles. So you could end up marrying this person. Some of you. You could end up maybe living together in a home together. There's a lot of potential for security. There's a lot of potential that this person is somebody who will make your heart content. Now, it's not your soulmate, but it is somebody that could definitely put the work in. They are somebody who's going to continue to pursue you because they do see the goal that could happen between the two of you. Now, if you walk away, it does look like you may realize you might have made a bad choice or decision. You kind of go back and forth, like, should I let this person go or not? You don't feel too confident about the decision. And it could be because you're going to try to manifest right away, but you won't get another person right away. What's going to be the blockage? You're going to have to be a little more open with your emotions. I think that's going to be the bridge between this person, if you leave them, versus the next person. There's a little bit of a path there where you may be single for a while. Now, I'm not saying hold on to this person just to have somebody. Of course, you have free will. But yeah, it does indicate that you could be happy with this person for the long term. So your outcome is you have free will to make the decision if you want to wait on this person. This person comes with a lot of like vitality, a lot of happiness, a lot of inner knowing where they want to be in life. So it may take them a little bit of time, but I think if you just enjoy their companionship and enjoy them restoring hope and faith back into you, knowing that there are good people out there, I think you're going to still benefit whether you decide to stay or whether you decide to go. So, okay, that is what I have for you. Hi, Patrick. So that is all I have. I have to boot scoot boogie. I just wanted to talk about karma and I want to talk about destiny because I think it's really important during retrograde with everybody that's coming back, just so everybody understands whether it's friends, family, coworkers, neighbors, or other. Okay, well, I will be back tomorrow. We will probably do all signs, no contact and separation. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. I gotta go. Bye.